6. Man Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust is blue. 80 knots, thrust set. 5500. 31. Rotate.
Good, glorious morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. How are you today on this fine Saturday? Glad to have everybody here. I am on a roll with this Embraer E-Jet from FSS. I can't put it down. I stayed away from it for a very long time because I heard it was just really not enjoyable. Well, I can officially tell you that I am thoroughly enjoying this airplane. Now, it's obviously still work in progress, but I enjoyed the 170 so much, I figured, hey, I got to try the 190 now. I flew both of these jets in real life. I flew both the Embraer 190 and the 170s. So, and they did handle different. They did feel different. There was a difference, of course, associated with both aircraft, but they're under the same type rating, technically speaking. So, once you're typed on the 170, you theoretically could fly the 190. You just have to take a differences course. So, very similar operation, but a much greater difference in the actual feeling of the aircraft, though. The 190 always felt like it flew better. It just felt like it had better thrust to weight ratio. It just felt more stable. It was just kind of like the lumbering giant compared to the 170, which was a little bit more sporty and a little bit more, skitsy. I don't know if that's even a word, but that's just how I would describe it. So I fired up the 190, and to my surprise, the airplane flew just like I imagined it would. And I even have the same profile. I'm using the same force feedback profile that I used for the 170. So theoretically, the changes that I'm feeling are in the flight model itself. So that's good to know that there are actual flight model changes going in between these two jets. This one has its own sound pack as well. These are default sounds you're going to hear today. And they do sound different than the default 170 sounds, which is good. Now, the default 170 sounds are okay. I believe there's going to be a secret sound pack that's in the works somewhere. But the 190, pretty good sounds, pretty decent sounds out of the gate. So you guys take a listen today and let me know what you think. But yeah, this is going to be a fun one. We're going somewhere we've never been before. We're going to go from Sky Harbor up to Provo, Utah. Just downloaded the vertical sim there. I probably should have loaded into the airport to see if it actually loaded in properly. But we're going to find it out for the first time together. So, Hasso Basso, it does feel believable. It does indeed. And it has those bigger turbines. Sure does, Jason. Look, I was sitting here before the stream started, and I was like, what is wrong with my engines? Why is there this must be a pixel issue. No, you know what this is? This engine is ever so slightly windmilling. And just perfectly, if you set the camera right, you'll see it open up there, and you can see the sky behind the engine through the bypass air, and then it closes up. And you don't see the hole anymore. I mean, I thought it was a glitch. That's the level of detail we're dealing with now in simulation that I love it. I absolutely love it. I actually did some Allegiant ops in a Provo the other night. It's a beautiful approach. Carson Christ, I don't think I've ever been to Provo. Actually, I know the only time I've ever been to Provo, Utah was in a Citation jet one time. And I don't remember any of it. So we're going to have to, we'll tackle those challenges together as we go forth today on today's stream. So this should be fun. I hope you guys are ready. Looks like we've got another breeze loaded in over here. We're in the BM World Phoenix Sky Harbor, and we're sitting over at the F gates, this is going to be a juicy departure. Guys, check out. All right, so one of the other awesome things about the 190, the wings. The wings on the 190, I felt like I was flying a big boy jet because like all my friends are flying the 170, and I'm like, oh, I'm on the 190, it's the big boy jet. Now, granted, in retrospect, it's still a regional jet in my opinion. However, the wings, I loved them. They were fatter, they were thicker, and they were juicier. So like, take a look at our juicy wing views we have here, and you can just tell it almost looks like a 737 wing out there. But I absolutely loved flying the 190. I don't have anything negative to say about flying the Embraer 190. The 170 was really good to me too, but if I had to pick which one was better, in my personal opinion, I would choose the 190 any day of the week. Now, that's not to say that the 170 is not fun. I still have a ton of fun flying the 170, and we're going to fly a ton of 170 ops in US Airways Express and United Express and all the good liveries we got. So you're going to start seeing both of these airplanes on the channel a little bit more regularly. But it's just such a well-proportioned jet. You know, the 190 is just a well-proportioned aircraft, and I love it. Absolutely love it. Do they tax the FPS that much? Kivo G, I will tell you, they do not feel as optimized as other add-ons. They are harder on the frames than other add-ons that I've flown that even have slightly more complexity to them. So, you know, like the Fenix and PMDG, they're more optimized, I think, than these aircraft are, but they're still flyable and they're still fun. And really, the only time I notice the lack of FPS is when I'm switching views in the cockpit, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's like some texture thing or what it might be. I've noticed if you hide cabin, it hides the interior cabin, and it makes the view switching a little bit smoother. And you'll see it here on stream. I mean, so far, I mean, it actually hasn't been too bad. I mean, hell, it almost seems a little bit smoother than the 170. I don't know. Maybe it's just placebo. I have the cabin on right now, as you can see. But we'll keep an eye on it as the stream progresses. So, all right. 7.3 looks better. Best looking narrow body ever? No way, man. 7.5. 7.5 over the 7.3. Any day of the week, twice on Sunday. And actually, Brian, the E190 E2 is a pretty sweet looking jet. I got it. When you see that in real life, I saw pictures of them online. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. The first time I saw an E190 E2 just recently, and I'm like, that is a slick looking bird. So, but yeah, this one feels better on FPS, JJ. I don't know why. But it does feel better on frames. All right, here we go, chat. Let's fire it up. You'll take a listen to the sounds. I'll make sure we got everything juiced up here. The relay's on. We do need to connect the ground power. We do have HGS. We have a heads-up guidance system, or I think something like that. That's what it's called. Now, I never flew a 190 with a HUD, so I was never special enough to use the HUD. We never had them on ours. Let's go ahead and click Avail. We'll get her juiced up. Alright, GPU in use. We'll come on down the overhead here. We'll keep the dome off, sterile off. No smoking. Seatbelts can stay off. We'll arm the emergency exit lights. Everything looks normal there. We'll get the nav and logo lights on. That all looks good. Electric pump, cold, 12 o'clock, cold and dark. Everything's going to continue to load up here. We'll let the airplane come to life. They call the 190 E2 the Dr. Miami plane. Dr. Miami plane, really? Yeah, Canadian, I agree. That's the ones I've seen Canadian are porters. The only ones I've seen are porter E195 E2s. I saw one in Fort Myers and Lauderdale, and they were sweet. I was like, this is really cool. More FPV woes on this flight. I did a test flight last night, and I didn't have very many issues, but as you've seen before, we're going to have to... We'll see what happens. I don't know. I've only done one complete flight in this airplane so far, so we will find out together. I'll get vertical prof on. Don't need nav aids, airports, or waypoint ident on there. We'll clear that up. We'll keep the systems page on over here. We'll actually put the plan page on because we're going to build our flight plan from the plan page, and we'll go ahead and put this sucker over on the flight controls tab right now. They're all boxed out. Now, I believe they should be... There we go. That's... What's going on with the hydraulics there? It looks like it's wigging out on the hydraulics a little bit. But I'm not going to look at it. We'll check it after start because that should not be doing that. We'll check it after start unless it's going through a test or some sort of testing like that. All right. Let's see here. We need this to go here. We'll put 18.7 in the freak. We're going to squawk 2,000, and then we'll get our route in here. It's almost like something's looping. You hear that? There's definitely some type of loop. Oh, it's doing the hydraulic P-bit. Oh, that's right. I forgot all about the P-bit test. You're right. That's right. So it's just going through all of its things. Flight control test in progress. Look at that. I forgot all about that. Yeah, don't touch the flight controls with the flight control test in progress, or let's get you a flight control no dispatch. Luke Ferguson, thanks for the $2 super chat, man. Appreciate you. Just finished IOE on the 145. Nice, dude. Where are you based out of, Luke? Where are you based out of, man? Where are you flying? I'll be flying tomorrow morning. I think, where am I going? I'm going to the great state of Texas, of course. How could I forget? Going to Houston tomorrow. But thanks for the $2 super chat, man. Appreciate you. Enjoy that 145. A-Rot, that's right. I turned on the complete startup process. So this is why we didn't see it earlier, chat. Let me show you this, because I asked A-Rot what this option was yesterday. So when you enable the complete startup procedures, the aircraft is going to run through its set of testing and bit tests. There you go. That's what it was. We've had that option off in the past. That's why we haven't seen any of that prior. So that is true to the real airplane, though, unless you're doing like a plane swap and everything's powered up. You're doing like a turnaround. I guess that's why you could have spawn and turnaround mode, but we're basically taking it from a cold and dark state here. So cool deal. Cool deal. All right, route page. We're going to find our flight plan. We're going to put Provo, Utah in there, PVU, and our call sign today, I gotta hand it to him, Moxy. Moxy 357. Let's go ahead and find that and go from there. Flying the Grand Ole 145 out of Charlotte. All right, man. Super lucky on the senior base. Hell yeah, man. That's awesome, Luke. Congrats, man. I can't decide between a 170, 175, E190, E195. Marco, I'll tell you what. Fly, if you got to pick which one you want to buy, look at the associated liveries and airlines that fly each one of them. Because they're both different, which I love as far as flying them around, hand flying everything. So I like the liveries and I like the nostalgia of the 170 and the 175. So we're going to fly that a lot. But I've got some cool flights because I flew this jet under contract. I did contract work in the Embraer 190. So I've flown this jet into some places that you might not think this jet would be flying into. I just need to get I need to work with some livery painters, get some secret liveries painted up. But yeah, it'll be, I'm excited that we have this bird running. All right, our flight plan is received, so let's go to departure runway here out of Fenix. Let's just do a quick weather check. Let's see what the winds are doing this morning. Mitar Sky Harbor. It's 270, beautiful. So we're gonna blast off 25 right, which will be a short taxi. So I'm sorry, 25 left. We'll blast off 25 left. We filed the Quakey 1 to Grand Canyon transition, so we got to find Quakey. There it is, Quakey 1 Grand Canyon transition. We'll apply that. Next page. All right, down to Provo. Now going into Provo, I actually have no idea what we're going to do in Provo. We're coming off of FFU. Is that Fort Union? Let me look at the charts here for Provo because I don't know what the airport looks like. KPVU. Let's pull that up. Did you see the fender bender at Heathrow? I did not, Zippy. Someone bent some metal this morning? That's never good, man. Never good. Hopefully everybody's all right. It's a fender bender. They should be. Okay, Provo, Utah, right on the water. 3-1 and 1-3. Probably going to get 3-1. What approaches? Nope. Probably going to get 1-3. ILS 1-3. RNAV 1-3. Might have to fly past and fly south. ILS 1-3. It looks like we'll do the ILS 1-3 off. We'll do the arc to the ILS. That should be good. That should be good. George, aren't you a 320 pilot? I am. I am a current 320 pilot, but in the States, it's not like in other countries where you just, go through training and fly one jet right to get to the airlines. Typically here, you got at least back in my day, you had to be competitive. You needed 3,500 hours of flight time in jets before you even were considered for regionals. So I spent my time doing a multitude of different things. But I did fly this jet at the regionals as well. So, all right, Fairfield, that's what we'll take it off of. We'll do Fairfield, we'll arc, and we'll come into PVU. That sounds good to me. And is there a star? There's no star associated with Provo. Okay, so we scoped it out. We're going to plan for the 1-3 ILS off FFU. So runway 1-3 ILS FFU will arc, apply, Dunzo. Next page, perf and knit. We'll leave it right here. Let's go ahead and load up our flight details. Departure today, we're going to blast off of 25 left. 25 left. Condition is dry. Now, the 190, I think normal was flaps 1, right? Or flaps 2, but we're going to be a flaps 1 out of here. We'll sync our weather. That was the slight difference. Like the normal for the 170 is flaps 2 and 4, right? 2, 4, and 1 if you're taking off out of Denver. And then I think the 190 was flaps 1 by default, if my memory serves me right. I think flaps 1. So we'll go with that as our primary. We're going to do real-time loading of 628, and then we'll also start the GSX boarding process right now as well. We'll just use AccuFleet. Come back down here, and it should start doing its own thing, right? Did it start counting down? All right, once we get to the manifest, once everybody's on board, we'll hit the manifest. But yeah, everybody's on board. We're getting our... We might have to open our cargo doors. Are they going to open them? Let's see. All right, I think we'll have to open our cargo doors. So we will open them up for you. We'll go over here. We'll go ground. There and there and there. And what other door y'all need? You're going to need one. We're going to need 2 left as well. There we go. Cooking with gas now. Be aware of send McDo, potentially flat setting 2. Okay, I will double check. Nope, crew's already on board. We are ready to go. Flybreeze.com. Now, I've never been on Breeze in real life. Any real life breezers out there? Are they single class? Are they a double class cab? I have no idea what Breeze looks like on the inside. I've only seen them from the outside. Canadian, you're buying it? I don't think you'll be disappointed, man. I'm having a ton of fun. Now, I like this livery, too. This is a custom Breeze livery, not the default one. A little bit more dirt on it. A little extra spice. Just think of Send to McDo as a crappy new FO. Okay, A-Rod. Sounds good. basically Team Vodka sitting next to me, right? Do you remember what the biggest differences were besides the wing? Default flap settings, the handling characteristics. She was a little bit more of a lumbering giant. Who dat? Get your citation off my airplane. Let's see. I really don't remember. I literally have the manual sitting next to me with my 190 differences manual. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look and see. Now, on my cruise sector, I had I was able to select 8.4 Mach. Is that legit? I feel like that's a little sus. I don't remember it being that fast, but I could be mistaken. Alright, 190, hold on. ERJ-190 differences. I have this, because so for me, when I got hired, I did not want to, I believe it or not, I actually did not want to do the 190. So the 170, 175s were all regional airline stuff, and there was a charter division that we had that operated 190s. And nobody wanted it because of where the base was. But me being the youngest in the class, being the most junior, I got the 190 right out of the gate. So I thought I was going to go fly regional airline stuff, and I was thrown into 190 charter, and it was not very glorious at the beginning, but looking back, I'm very, very glad it happened. Passenger cabin, antenna locations. Let's see. Some of the 190s equipped with following panels, so we had slightly different passenger sign panels. We had a sterile. Let's see. We had a no electronic device switch instead of a no smoking switch on some aircraft. Let's see. MFD synoptics page showed different doors, obviously, because we got a little different door. Different galley configs, different flight attendant station configs. Overwing emergency exit lighting was different. Nose landing gear nose light was different. Just external lighting. This is nothing really too important. Let's skip through all this. Basically, this is all physical attributions. Let me see if we get some difference. Here we go. FGCS vertical modes. Mach trim function. Positions horizontal stab as a function of Mach trim. Basically, we have whatever that is. we had Mach trim in the 190. Slightly different AC-DC bus load distribution. I have this all highlighted here, so that was probably important. So slightly different electrical load distribution situations going on here. Let's see. What else we got? Oh, engines, obviously more powerful engines. So CF34, we had the Mac Daddy CF34 10E6A1, which were 18,600 pounds of thrust on a TO1. The CF34 10E5s were 18.5, and then you can have the baby CF34s, which were the 17.2s. But we were equipped, it looks like, with the 10E6 Alpha 1, which is 18.6. TO2 was 17,002. TO3 was so you could derate to TO3, which is a 15,000 pound thrust. Cargo compartment, smoke department, that was a big one. We actually had a cargo smoke situation in a 190 flight before. Let's see. Slat flap selector. Oh, the trim. The trim is a lot different. So, like, 4 is like what? 4 is standard on the 172 is like their default 2, I think, on the 190. So the trim units are different. When you're going to set TO trim, you'll be like, oh, this is significantly different than the 170. That's normal. The fly-by-wire tail strike avoidance system. So we do have tail strike protection. I remember that. That's a highlighted section. Oh, it looks like AROT says 190 has tail strike but isn't modeled yet. Okay. Fuel control panel. Some ERJs, 190s are equipped. Yeah, we had some for ETOPS operations. Slightly different fuel panel includes the crossfeed override button. That's for the ETOPS jet. I think there was one ETOPS jet. And then this is a whole ETOPS section. Yeah, so this is basically we're moving fuel with ETOPS. I don't think this is ETOPS equipped, is it? Fuel override. Where's my fuel panel? No, there should be there would be another guarded button here if I remember correctly. Let me see if there's a picture of it. Yeah, there should be a. So if you have an ETOPS configuration fuel tank under the right here, you'd have like another one of these guarded switches, and that is a crossfeed override button. Tetley, I love the window, man. The windows look so juice. I hacked my view to go outside, but I actually brought the views back inside slightly because the texturing in the cabin of the 190 is really juicy. Let's take a listen to this APU spool up. Auto brake system was slightly different. And that's about it. Minimum turning radius, ICAST messages, caution, auto brake fail, tail strike detection fail. That's really about it. So kind of just little stuff. And obviously your limitations will be different with that as well, right? So it's during a check ride or whatever, you'd be asked 190 limitations versus just 170, 175 limitations. Dean Parker, you were making a sandwich and that was loud in the other room? Yeah, ma'am. That was loud. My ears are still ringing. All right. We got in-flight snacks as well. All right. We're pretty much almost ready to go. We're 83 on the bags. We're done there. Let's go to... Yep, that's done. So manifest. Let's go to our manifest situation. Send to McDo. We want this one. Flaps 1 trim, takeoff trim 2.1. What's the difference here? 2.5 left. Oh, this was a flaps 2 takeoff. So we're going to do flaps 1. We'll send to McDo. We'll verify our speeds and weights here as it runs through the situation. Just in from Simple Flying, Embraer 190F conversion, conduct mated flight. Oh, really, Jet Kid? 190 freighter? That's pretty crazy. All right. Now I'm going to reset takeoff and landing fuel to 300 and 0. Actually, it was more. I think it was like 700 and 0 on this jet, if I remember. All right, so that's pretty much done. Takeoff 12.7. Now, let's verify our perf data after we close up this door so it doesn't keep asking me. We'll come back and verify all this stuff. We'll close you up, close rear left, and they're done outside. Good night, it's loud. We'll go ahead and close you up. We'll close you up. All right, let's go through some data here. All right, cruise flight level, what did we file? We filed 40 thou. That seems aggressive. Let's file 38. 380. Cruise winds, I don't know what they are. Hey, Russ going to get mad at me because I'm not putting the cruise winds in. We got enough gas. Takeoff CG 12.7, that looks normal. Okay, that's done. Takeoff data set. We're doing a TO1, ADIX on, ECS, engine NIS off, flex off. We're going to go Toga. Go ahead, hit enter, FMS takeoff, flaps 1, 12.7, TO1, ADIX on. 21, 25, 32, 79, takeoff pitch 11 degrees with flap 1. And let's verify that trim setting in the manifest was 2.1 on the trim. So we're basically just gonna, we would set that after start, I think, 2.1. All right, Dunzo, Dunzo. Let's get the beacon on. Let's get 3A on. And what was it? 2 on? Let me look at, I should be able to remember this if I look at the friggin' schematic of the hydraulics. Because there was reasoning behind it. Landing gear, elevator, aileron, reverse rudder, brake inboard, brake outboard, emergency parking brake. Maybe it's for the emergency parking brake? I don't know, but isn't that for... There's a reason for it. That looks good enough to me. We'll go back to the map page. And let's prepare for pushback and departure. Stan, get out of here. My dog just jumped on my 3-foot Throttletek. Better. Because he can smell my food. No, wait, what? Prepare for pushback and departure. That's what I want. That's off. That's off. And let's go back to here.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Alright, ready for pushback. We're going to set 380 up top. He's going for the fire handles. Zippy, yeah, he's going for the fire handles, man. Stanley, I'm going to seriously... Get out of here. Go.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
These are things that we never had to deal with at the V1 HQ in the office. Okay, y'all got it. The one, like, really need to make these selectable again with, like, the Bravo or any type of hardware, because I can't scroll the speed or the heading. I like this. The range, this is really good right here. I like this situation. Alright, we're ready to push. Where's that other, Oh, we gotta close our door. We still got a door open here. Windows, doors, and slides. Close an arm now. And we don't need that GPU. Let's disconnect you. It should go away. Hopefully. Nose, left. Tail right.
Release parking brakes, please.
Sky Harbor traffic, Moxy 357. I'm going to push back off Fox 5, text and 25 left. Sky Harbor. Dude just blocked me.
Release parking brakes, please.
This dude just straight up blocked me. Sky Harbor traffic, Moxy 357, pushing back Fox 5. We're going nose west.
Parking brakes, please.
Alright. Here we go. Brakes released.
Commencing push.
Clear to push.
All engines clear. Start at will.
That's a pretty sweet view right there. Had to mute my mic while I was eating. Alright, let's spool them up, chat. You ready? If you guys like Embraer 190s, if you like this regional jet content, smash the like button. Because if you hit the like button, then we'll be able to do more regional content. Because I'm loving it. I'm having a ton of fun with this stuff. Here we go. We're going to spool up engine number 1. I'll mute my mic. I need another egg roll. Enjoy the startup. See, definitely different. This is default. This is definitely different than the 170 sound pack. So I like it. Boris in the house. What's up, man? Brakes are set. Clear disconnect. Show me the pin out front. It come with egg roll. Boris, hey, get off the sim. You need to go be doing some work. You need to be doing some work, my man. Canadian, thank you for the $6 super chat. Appreciate you. That was my Tim Hortons budget. Oh man, don't be giving away your Tim Hortons budget. I love me some Tim Hortons. We're gonna go up to Tim Hortons. So I got stranded in Halifax on a 190. Was there one? I think it was actually a 170 trip. It might have been. We have to recreate that one. I'll look in my logbook. I got stranded in Halifax in a snowstorm, and lived off of Tim Hortons for like 3 days. It was amazing. Great, great time. Callie Simmer in the house. Good afternoon, or good morning to you, rather. Glad to have you on board. Welcome to the stream. We're flying a little Moxy this morning. A little bit of Moxy. Wow, that was a perfect push. We stacked our pushes. That was perfect.
Right is clear.
Good start on 1. Let's go ahead and start engine 2. Okay, this is going to be a problem. My dog is like on my rudder pedals now. Stan, get back. Get back. Here's some Toga fuel money. Phil Anadar. Thank you so much for a $5 super chat. Really appreciate ya. We're going to get you some Toga love right now, my friend. Appreciate the support. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Flaps 1 coming out here. Okay, guys, I don't know if it's... Don't give me any placebo effect, but I'm running a so-called higher stream quality. Does it make any difference at all? If not, if you notice any difference, let me know. If you don't notice a difference, don't say anything. But I'm trying to, I'm messing with some settings. I'm trying to juice up the output here a little bit more. All right, we got 2 good starts. Flaps are position 2. That's not correct. So APU's coming down. That's coming to auto. We got to fix that. We need to be flaps 1. They are Beagles, Guru. Yes, they are Beagles. The original PTUs. Some of y'all probably remember from back in the day. All right, we got flaps. Look at that wing, though, huh? Tell me that wing is not more juicy than the 170. And I love the 170, but it's something about these. These are like girthier flap track fairings. Hopefully AJ's not here to hear that. All right, auto brakes, RTO. Let's get out of here. Sky Harbor traffic, Moxy 357. We're going to taxi 25 left via Delta. Sky Harbor traffic. All right, let's go here. All right, we got roll TO LNAV. We'll sync our heading bug on the runway. And flight control check. We're looking over here. Beautiful. Trim is set 2.1. We're going back to the map page. Let's roll. Taxi lights coming on. Oh, and our seatbelt light should come on too, or seatbelt sign rather. Oh, I just realized we selected the wrong runway. I was thinking we're taking off eastbound. Oh, we gotta turn around up here at Delta. Rubes, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, man. I appreciate you. Very, very kind for that. And picking up a membership from Rubes. Make sure you shout him out. Say thank you. That's very kind of you, Rubes. All right, what runway do we have? 25 right? In my mind, I was thinking we were taking off of, what is it, 8 left. So we gotta adjust. Sounds like a bad FO. Wrong flaps and no seatbelt signs. Well, A-Rot warned me. You can definitely tell there's a difference in the 190 and the sound department too there. Pretty good. All right, so let's verify our departure runway. 25 left. It should have been 25 right. Will that delete our speeds? What are we on? 25 right, Quakey, Grand Canyon. I hope we're still on the taxiway. Quakey, Grand Canyon, apply. There we go. There we go. Now we look better. 25 right, speeds are the same. 210 selected. We'll roll at TO. LNAV is armed. Looking good. Caleb W. coming in with a 10 gifted membership bomb. Caleb W. Appreciate you, man. Very kind. Thank you for that support. Y'all know the drill. If you get a membership, make sure you say thank you to those so generous to gift y'all memberships to the channel. Check out the View and After Dark content. I got some shorts, videos out there you can watch. I got all kinds of little members-only stuff. I was actually streaming. I actually did a proving run last night in the Discord. I streamed this airplane kind of late at night. I just did a late-night Discord stream as a test flight. When I did my flight from DC to MSY, 2000 and what did we say? 2012? 2011? It was before 13. It wasn't because I remember New Year's of 13. I remember where I was, so it was before that. So it was either 12 or 11. He's taxiing now. We're looking good. Look at the bridge. We should have started on the other side, gone under the bridge. Gonna do some Lear 35 ops? Yeah, I saw the notification that the update dropped. We're gonna do some. We're gonna have to check it out. We're gonna have to check out the latest and greatest Lear. I miss it. I miss the old Learjet. Alright, we'll hold short here. We'll wait for our company Moxy.
Here's Moxy 621, departing 25 right, quick E1 right into transition.
I had to stop flying the Lear because I couldn't keep up with all the updates. Steven, same here, man. Like every time I loaded, it was like 3 updates, update. So I've let it rest for a little while. Maybe after this last one, we'll give it a shot. Alberto, a.k.a. Berto in the house. Berto, what's going on, man? Happy Saturday. Welcome on board. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend, my friend. We get a lot of Breeze 190s at Purdue coming over with a football team. Yeah, hot shot. So I actually used, that was a big part of our charter department was sports teams in the 190. So I flew a lot of college teams, football, hockey. Hockey was the hardest because they had the heaviest equipment. You'd think football, but we had a lot of weight issues doing hockey charters. All right. No one's on final. Sky Harbor traffic. Moxy 357. We're going to depart runway 25 right out to the north. Sky Harbor traffic. All right, let's arm it up. AT, we're TO, LNAV, looking good. Let's get our lights on. Well, let's go to Provo. Oh, how do you not smash the like button for that? How do you not smash the like button for E190? Cold Bay, Alaska? Cold Bay, Alaska. Thank you so much for 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you, man. Very, very kind. Looks like Cactus 1549 is no longer in the Hudson, but is now a member. All right, there goes that guy. We'll sink our heading bug. Now, I really want to hand fly this departure, but it's also going to be very juice. So one of my favorite departures on the sim. Let's get our cams online. Make sure the dogs didn't knock them out. Kind of knocked them out a little bit. I got the Moxy blue. All right, let's go. Jeez, that just jump scared me. Spool him. Holly, I'm about to do a Toga takeoff here. Settle down. All right, here we go. Spool him up 50. Oh yeah. Yoga's in chat. Let's go. Whew. All right, we're TO. Airspeed's alive. Gotta hold. Thrust set. I'm doing all my callouts. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Fly with. Whoa, it has effects. That's kind of interesting. I didn't know we were in a affectable weather right now. Whoa, watch that pitch. 20 degrees. Our speed, L nav, fly level change. Come down to 11 degrees. She's much more docile on the acceleration and cleanup, which I remember being true. The 170, like if you did a flap 4 takeoff in the 170, you were kind of busy. You were like flaps 3, flaps 2, flaps 1. Because I don't think you skipped, right? I think you went in sequence. Ah, dang it, I have to keep double tapping my flap lever. I forgot. We're going to overspeed. Pitch up, we'll fly through the queue here just a little bit. Select 250 knots. Yeah, that is my biggest issue with the FSS jets has nothing to do with autopilot, has nothing to do with the flight path vector, has nothing to do with LNAV or VNAV. It has to do with manipulating the freaking speed and heading, because they're just too slow. And if you can't use hardware to manipulate them, and you don't have FMS speeds, there's a lot of finagling. So that to me is the biggest drawback. It's not the VNAV or anything like that. Look at that wing flexing out there. This is equipped with a HUD, that is correct. We'll drop the HUD down a little bit. We'll show you in a little bit. It still looks like my flaps are extended, didn't it? Hold on, we're starting to... No, they're in. They're just nice and dirty. Speeding. Get back to about 11 degrees. There we go. There's 250 coming back into the window. Now we're looking good. FMS speeds are coming. Yeah, that'll be awesome. I would rather have FMS speeds than VNAV. I don't know how that would be an interesting, because if you think about how they're connected, I wonder if that's even possible. To have FMS speeds with no VNAV. You're a big HUD enjoyer, Steven? Well, not I. I'll show you the HUD here right now. Let's take a look at it. Let's pop the HUD down. So, I mean, we could follow, it's pretty nice to follow that in the HUD there. Let's follow the flight director queue in the HUD only here for a minute. There's 10,000 feet. We'll accelerate to 270. Or we'll do 280 is fine. 280k knots. I mean, the HUD is actually really crisp. Really easy to see. Now, I don't have any real-world experience with the HUD, so I default any and all questions about the HUD to E190 HUD drivers. But it looks pretty dang good. You can see the flight director Q is moving. So let's see if we can follow it here. We'll center up the donut. See our heading widget on the horizon line. It's so hard for me because I've never trained with a HUD. So I want to look at my PFD, but you can't do that. All the information you need is in the HUD. So just look at the HUD, fly the HUD. Definitely takes some getting used to. But I've just years and years of looking at the PFD. It's hard to break that habit, you know? But I mean, look how stable and just... I know this is not a giant airplane, but the best description I have is she flies like a lumbering giant. And that's how she flies in the sim. But it can also be a rocket, as far as takeoff's concerned, if you need it. TO1 light, oof. Alright, so I see, like, I'm following the queue. Now this is, I think, just part of their LNAV work in progress. Like, you'll see that flight director queue gets kind of oscillating. But we're flying it pretty good. Good plane to train a HUD. It really is, JJ Stevens. It really is. Alright, I'm starting to go cross-eyed. I can't. Starting to go cross-eyed. Oh yeah, look at that. Lake Pleasant out there. See ya, Phoenix. Yes, LNAV does work. Bank angle check to the left. Here's a hot take for you. E190 wing greater than 737 wing. I don't know. It looks meatier. The 737 wing is like, I don't know. I like this shorter, meatier wing on the 190. Let's come back all. I don't know where we're supposed to could be going, but let's just do a cinematic bank angle check to the left here. A little bit more trim. They are very similar. They do look very similar, Turk. But I feel like because the wing is overall shorter, everything is closer to the window. Like the farthest flap fairing is closer to the window than on a 7.3, maybe. I don't know. It just looks meaner. It looks more aggressive. 737 pilots attack. Uh-oh, Canadian. Don't say that, I'm an unsub. Hey, Canadian, appreciate the $3, $5 super chat, man. You're not gonna have any Tim Hortons money left. All right, let's figure out where we're going here. Enough cinematic flying. There's 18,000. Let's hit the magic barrel ref key. 290902 is set. Let's come down here to the old radio. Let's go on 20. We should be on Unicom anyway. 22.8 is set. 22.8. Just walking 2,000, and we'll get back on course, and then we'll engage the autopilot. Shortly after this fix here, it's pretty much just a straight shot north, so let's go ahead and get her on course, and we'll engage the autopilot and cruise our way up to Provo. Iveo Europe on the E190, that could be a fun little tour setup. Hotshot, you agree with the hot take? Hotshot agrees with the hot take. Well, my Saturday has been made, Chad. Would you avoid flying in a MAX as a passenger? Well, me personally, probably not. I'll tell you what, Hasso Basso, my wife wanted to load up our entire family, not me, because I'll be working. She's was gonna go down to Florida, Southwest, and I was like, my entire family on a 737 without me. I started thinking about it. I actually looked some kind of what kind of model it would be. But no, I wouldn't avoid a Max. I know folks that are. I had a guy ask me yesterday on the plane train. On the plane train in Atlanta, he's like, "Hey, do you know if I'm on a Boeing?" And I was like, "Well, who are you flying? Where are you going?" He's like, "Well, I'm going to Chicago." I'm like, "Well, who are you flying?" He's like, "I'm flying Frontier." I'm like, "Oh, no, you're on an Airbus." He goes, "What's that?" I'm like, it's the other one. It's not a Boeing." He's like, "Oh, okay, it's not a Boeing?" I'm like, "No, it's not a Boeing." He's like, "Okay, good." So that's the general traveling public for you. Don't know what an Airbus is, but they don't want to be on a Boeing, so interesting. All right, I think we're stable enough. Let's make sure she's nicely trimmed out, which I think she is. Looking pretty good. Maybe a little more up trim in there. And we'll engage the autopiloto. We are speed, TCS. Should be AP, but that's a Brunner. LNAV, flight level change. We're going up to 38 thou. We're looking good here. Let's go ahead and turn off all of the lights. We never hit any of these off through 10 thou. That's all right.
Good day, airfield 113, 17,004.
You should have said it's a Tupolev. People are scared to drive over bridges now? Yeah. I agree with you, A-Rod. I agree with you, man. So she's going to have to restabilize herself here on a track. We've got a nice 91 knot crosswind. Look at that. I'm glad we're flying north-south and not east-west right now. That might be rough. Tomorrow I got to fly west to Houston. What are the winds doing in Houston tomorrow? I'm going to look that up. Guru KN, thank you for the 9 months of support, man. Very kind of you. I love all your gifters. 14, 40K subs between. Been. Awesome. Hey, Guru, appreciate all the support, man. I saw LaGuardia was renovated. Is it still a garbage? You know what, Victor Silva? It's actually not. I've been to LaGuardia in the post-renovation era. It's pretty nice. But it will always and forever be garbage. I live in Baltimore, so I've got the bridges and Southwest. Just be thankful that you're not living in Baltimore where you stuck with bridges and Southwest. Kelly Simmer, that's not west enough. Houston, yeah. I love Texas, but hopefully Blue Game's not watching. I don't really like Houston all that much. It's hotter, it's more humid, and the traffic is worse, and the bugs are worse, and depending on where you go, the people are worse. But that's very localized because there's some you can find some bad areas in Dallas too. But Texas is divided. There's a line. There's North Texas and South Texas. I'm from North Texas. I still haven't flown to Hobby. I did it for my check ride, but I'm scared of those taxi names. Oh, dude, it's that's the other thing. Taxi, Whiskey Charlie, Whiskey Alpha, Alpha Foxtrot, Golf 1, give way to the Embraer coming out of Fox 1, Echo to the ramp. I'm like, what? You got all that? You just got this bird yesterday, not bad, Lado? Yeah, man, I'm enjoying it, man. I'm having a ton of fun. And look, you can see here, so someone asked this question yesterday about the pylon. So on the 170, the pylon is more squared off. On the 190, it's not as squared off, and you can almost see that modeled here differently, which is kind of neat. But I just love it. I mean, I love the engine, the wing view. Like, that is real life. If we only had some clouds and not 12 noon with no weather, but it all looks all right. Everything looks good. We're synced up. We're climbing out. We never went to climb 1. Let's go ahead. It's probably too late now. So right now, so what happens in climb 2, this is a little lesson on your climb 2, climb 1 situation. Basically, it'll go to climb 2. It'll give you a lower climb thrust. As you go up in altitude, that target N1 will actually increase until it can't increase anymore. So if you wait too long, going to climb 1 won't actually do anything for you. So right now, our climb 2 is demanding 88.1. Let's see what our TRS climb 1 is. So actually, we've got a little bit more juice with climb 1. So let's go ahead and do it. You see, this just went to 88.2, so it's slowly creeping up. But if you can force it into climb 1 and get max climb perf out of it. There we go. We'll get a little bit more juice. Climbing 380. Although there was an incident at SFO this morning trying to park overnight in a tight spot and 2 United aircraft touched causing damage. Uh-oh, they parked? Were they under tow? I feel like that's been happening a lot recently too. Aircraft getting bent under tow. I'm eating my egg roll. That's why I muted my mic. Hold on. Houston is the armpit of Texas. Actually, that would probably be... Yeah, I would agree with that. I was going to try to find another small town, but I would agree with that. Captain Canada absolutely despises Houston because of the heat. Well, y'all went to the expo. Hotshot, I said you went to the... Yeah, when y'all went to the expo in Houston, that was like one of the... That was like during a heat wave, too. But that wasn't even... I mean... Yeah, that's... It was a heat wave, but that's a heat wave that happens pretty much every summer. Definitely should have had the expo in North Texas. Would have been way better. Like at the Southwest Flight, near the Southwest Flight Museum. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe next year they'll do that. Because there's a lot more to do in Dallas, too. You don't have to worry about getting shot as much. You don't know Texas armpits until you've lived somewhere like Amarillo. Steven, I was going to say Amarillo, but I actually know some really cool people from Amarillo. And I was outstationed. Get this. You want to talk about armpits. Actually, Borger, Texas is probably another armpit, but it's a northern armpit. So I was outstationed based out of Pampa, Texas at one point in my life, which is literally in the middle of nowhere. Tiny little town, but they had some of the best donuts. Harvester's Donuts is the best donut shop in the United States of America. I actually went back there, I don't know, many years later because we went to Lubbock, or I'm sorry, we went to Amarillo for a wedding. I was like, hey, we got to drive an hour, go to Pampa. But, yeah, man, Amarillo's aight, though. I mean, it's the people in Amarillo are much nicer than the people in Houston. Not Voodoo. No. Voodoo's got nothing on Harvester's Donuts. And I don't know how they are now. I don't even know if they're still open. But this donut shop, literally. So I'd fly in my Beach 99. I'd go into Pampa, Texas, land there in the morning at about 9, 10 a.m. after flying all morning, starting at like 2:45 in the morning. Fly to Lubbock, fly to Amarillo, then up to Pampa. Actually, Dallas, Lubbock, Amarillo, Pampa. Unless there was a metro on it, and then you'd skip Pampa and you go straight to Amarillo. But once I got in, I had my apartment that the now wife and I live in or we're living in Grapevine, Texas. We're like, I'm not going to have two apartments. Definitely couldn't afford it. I was making like $18 an hour, and so I would park my truck at a Best Western in Pampa, Texas, and I would sleep, quote unquote, day sleep in the back of my truck in the Best Western parking lot. But before I did that, I'd always go to Harvester's Donuts, and they would literally ask you. And I love maple, like the maple bar donut with the custard. That's one of my favorite donuts. They would literally ask you, they would frost it in front of you. I would get a maple and a chocolate. They'd frost it, fresh, hot donuts, frost it, and then they would inject it with the custard. So I guess now it just hit me. I guess I've really liked donuts my whole life, because I even fly to Minneapolis now in present day and get donuts. Just realized that. But yeah, and that's why I get two of those, a maple bar and a chocolate bar. And I have a picture of it somewhere. It just was the best donuts after flying all night and a cup of coffee. And I was so tired it didn't matter if I had coffee or not. And I'd drive over to the Best Western parking lot, put up the window shades, go to sleep. Sounds like some UPS ops. It sure was, Josh. Sure was. Nightmare fuel Metroliner. Oh yeah, they don't call it the San Antonio sewer pipe for nothing. I will say the best burger I ever had was in a crappy shack in Amarillo. Steven, yeah, there's some great barbecue throughout Texas. I think some of the best barbecue throughout the state of Texas are at these little random shacks. There was one in Pampa, a great little pulled pork place. Even here in Georgia, on my way home, there's this little guy in not a little guy. There's this little trailer that's permanently parked. I guess they permanently. It's like chalked and everything, and he's got a big old smoker out front. And all he sells is pulled pork sandwiches, or you can buy it by the pound. And it's some of the best barbecue I've had. And I'm from Texas, so like, that's saying something. And he's right here in Georgia, just off the highway. And I talked to him the other day. I've been here for like 15 or 20 years. I can't remember how long. I've been here a long time. For a little self-employed barbecue place to stay open that long, you know you got to be doing it right. So the donut run, Zippy, yeah. All right, we are just about to level at 380. There's out. Let's go ahead and increase our Mach. Let's do 7.8. We'll do 7.9. We'll increase to 7.9 Mach. We'll keep the speed up. Turn the seatbelts on. We already turned that. That's off. Turn the sims down a tad. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our cruising altitude. I mean, great little cockpit here. We'll put the jump seat down. What's this? Can I click this? Oh no, it's the seat. I was wondering if I can get the QRH out of here. What does that say? Thank you. I can't get in close enough. It's close I can get. Thank you for supporting us in the early access. It is with... I can't read it. MEL stick. What happens if you click it? Oh, no, where'd it go? Come back. I wanted to read it. It's too dark in here now. Oh well. But great little cockpit on the E-Jet. What's this? E190 checklist. Safety power on checklist. This is the old Embraer checklist too. That's cool. Alright, we're 380. We're level. We're cruising. How far we got? Destination Provo, 278 miles away. Let's go ahead and settle on in, chat. I kind of just want to stay on the wing view, honestly. What do you guys think so far? What do you guys think so far of this 190? I love it. I love it. And y'all been asking, do I recommend these jets? My answer, officially, is yes. Like, but you have to, with this asterisk, you have to know what's not modeled. It's well documented. Every time you load up the airplane, it tells you what is, what's not, what's being tracked. So it is definitely an early access airplane. If you're okay with that, can you get on and fly on a network? That's what we're doing right now. Had no issues. The autopilot issues that I have had personally have been because of I'm using some software for my Brunner force feedback yoke. Everything else, though, is, like with the flight path vector sticking, I think that's like a bug that they've noticed happening. Sometimes I got to double tap my flap lever. So know what's modeled, know what's not modeled, and if you're okay with that, and you know how to do a 3-to-1 descent, you're good to go. Flying the V1 is easy breezy. You got any good aircraft maintenance folks in here? Billy B16, every now and then we get a maintenance guy drop by. Key 6 says, I bought a dozen Krispy Kremes once just before a flight to give to my girlfriend because she was picking me up. I traded 2 for a few bottles of booze with one of the flight attendants. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Good thing I wasn't flying. I would have just taken the whole dang box. Donuts are dangerous, man. I love me some warm Krispy Kremes. They got to be warm though. Krispy Kremes got to be warm. Hotshot says, would you be down if I replaced the male pilot monitoring call out on the E-Jets with your voice? Oh yeah, for sure. I have those recordings from a while back. Yeah, Hotshot, definitely, man. Would not mind at all. Do I get a royalty for every takeoff done with your sound pack? I get like 50 cents. Just kidding, man. Yeah, feel free to use them. Exonos made Richmond, and we'll be doing Richmond, LaGuardia, and Boston, your home airport. Nice, man. Hasso Basso, me too. I have one more egg roll left. Canadian, but VNAV. Seth Williams says, I have a controversial question. Oh, this ought to be interesting. Why are we rolling? Let's double check. Why are we rolling? Because we're following our flight plan on LNAV like we're supposed to be. Love it. Look at that view. This is real life, Chad. This sim is so fun to fly. I can't help but contain my excitement. Let's get back to this controversial question here. What is it? There were some pilots on Twitter. Okay, well, that's problem number one. Get off Twitter and don't listen to pilots on Twitter. Who said that guys who turned up in long-sleeve button-up shirts were nerds. But I've always disagreed. What are your thoughts? I disagree. They're serial killers. Yeah. So, if you have long-sleeve pilot shirt, I have a theory. If you're wearing long-sleeve pilot shirts to cover tattoos, totally normal. You're probably a cool dude. We're going to get along just fine. If you wear long-sleeve pilot shirts just because, not every time, but every now and then, more often than not, I don't know. I'm just messing, man. There's nothing. Don't listen to anybody on Twitter, man. Don't listen to them. They're probably cold. Who knows? But it is a stigma within the aviation community, in the airline community, in the U.S. In the I don't even want to say normally. Like, the majority of pilots wear short sleeve shirts. There are those that wear long sleeve shirts. If they want to, knock yourself out, man. I really could care less what shirt and sleeve you wear. I personally only have short sleeve shirts because it's always been really hot where I fly. You know what's more insane? The captain who wore their hat the entire trip in the cockpit. Yes, definitely more insane. Team Vodka, yours is messed up. It won't LNAV? Why won't yours LNAV, man? What'd you do? Did you touch the yoke or something? Mine's LNAV, and you should have LNAV out. I've not had a single LNAV issue with the airplane, other than that one uncommanded roll. All right, let's do a little lesson in VNAV, since we don't have VNAV. How are we going to get down? Oh my gosh, I don't have VNAV. I don't know how to fly all the way to Provo, Utah. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to do a 3-to-1 rule, and since we have FPA, we can use it pretty accurately. So, next is Frenzy. Let's pull up our charts. Let's go to our approach, ILS 13. That's all we're going to need. We're going to hide this. Frenzy is, I don't know, so we got Fairfield as the fix. Is where we're going to start, which is 16.6, FFU. So if I go... distance to go 233 miles from FFU. Okay, so this is how you're going to calculate your descents in the Embraers if you don't have VNAV. Ready? Take notes. First and foremost, you got to figure out what altitude you want to descend down to. Well, we're going to start the approach from Fairfield VOR, 16.6. Okay, there's a couple of altitudes associated. It looks like 9,000 minimum here, and if I look at the charts, the Dicot could be 80. There's going to be 8,200 here. So, and if you look at the minimum altitude from Fairfield to Jetley, it's 9,000. So, we're going to use 9,000 as our target descent altitude, right? There's no hard altitude over Fairfield. It doesn't have to be at, or you don't have to be it. You could be slightly higher than 9,000, but you're safe at 9. And if you don't have VNAV, help yourself out. Put the ball in your court. Get down when you can. That way you can slow down and then get down on your next step down. If you try to stay high, if you try to get fancy and you're like, I'm going to stay a little bit higher, if you're not Johnny on the spot with your calculations on the fly, you might end up getting too high and screwing up your whole approach. So my suggestion is get down to the lowest altitude possible first and then go from there. We call it like stepping down, like you're stepping downstairs. You cross a fix, descend to the next bottom altitude. Cross a fix, descend to the next bottom altitude. Not always the most comfortable for the passengers, not always the most pilot flex. I can calculate a 3-degree path on this approach perfectly, but it's going to get you stable and it's going to make your life easier. So 9,000 is our bottom altitude. Our current altitude right now is 38,000 feet. So let's take 38,000 feet and we're going to subtract that from 9,000 feet because that's where we want to get down to, right? If we do that, if we take 38 minus 9, what is it? It's going to be 29,000 feet. All right, I'm just going to make math easier. I'm just going to call it 29. Now, we know we have 29,000 feet to lose. If we multiply that by 3, because we're going to use a 3-degree glide path, we can calculate how far we need to start down. So 29 feet to 29,000 feet to lose. So 29 multiplied by 3 is 87. So at 87 miles from the Fairfield VOR, if I start down on a 3-degree path, I will be in the ballpark at 87 miles to cross over Fairfield at 9,000. Now, I'm a pilot. I like easy math. 87 is not an easy number for me to remember. Let's just call it 90 miles, all right? All right, now let's take into some other factors. This is where you can get more technical and be more accurate. You can do ground speed calculation, ground speed times 5 for a vertical speed, because your ground speed is going to change as you descend down through the flight levels, right? Because the winds aloft are going to change. So if you are descending in a headwind, you're going to have a lower ground speed. You're actually going to need more miles over the ground to cover, as if you were descending with a tailwind, your ground speed's faster. So you need to actually start further back. I think I said that backwards, but you get what I'm saying. The ground speed will affect if you're doing a vertical speed. But let's just keep it basic. Let's forget all that. 87 miles. I like 90 because that's an easy number to remember. And then I'm going to add 10 more miles on top of that because I don't want to do any more math. And I'm just going to say at 100 miles from Fairfield, if I start down at 3 degrees, I'll be in the ballpark. And then guess what I'm going to do? About halfway through my descent, I'm going to run that 3-degree calculation again. I'm going to see where I'm at in accordance with my 3-degree path profile. And if I need to pick up my rate of descent, I can do that. If I need to slow it down, I can do that. But just to get you in the ballpark, we're going to go 3 degrees, 100 miles from Fairfield VOR, and we're going to see where that gets us. All right, so right now we are 199 miles out. I hope that's actually correct. I think it is. Where is Frenzy on our flight plan? So here's another thing too. So if you go plan mode, and then we click on plan and we show, how do I do this? Waypoint centered. There we go. Does this work? I haven't actually tried this out. We'll zoom it in. There we go. Yeah. Fairfield Frenzy. So Frenzy's right here, Fairfield, and then you would scroll this with this knob right here, I think. Or this knob. There you go. So it's kind of hard to see. You can scroll your full flight plan like this. This is how you step through your flight plan. You gotta put this in plan mode and center the waypoint. Right. But that looks good. So, alright, so we're gonna go back to centered. We're gonna go back here. We're gonna go back to map mode. We'll zoom it back out. So 100 miles out, we start down 3 degrees. How do we start down 3 degrees? Lovely E-Jet has a very, very complicated way to calculate a 3-degree descent. You click the flight path angle button here, and you select 3 degrees flight path angle down. That's it. That's all you do. And as you gain experience with this, like, look, I know you can calculate bang-on descents with ground speeds and vertical speeds, and that's great. But I'm trying to really minimize the mental math for new pilots that might be nervous of flying on an airplane without VNAV, especially on a network. ATC's talking to you. We're going to Provo, Utah. There's not a lot going on. It's not very busy. But if you are getting into busy airspaces, take it from me, take it from my experience and lessons that I've learned. Make it as easy as possible for you. If you know your bottom altitude, get down there, give yourself a 10-mile buffer. Hell, I would even be comfortable starting down 110 miles from Fairfield if I was going, like, say this scenario was exactly the same, except the airport at the end of our flight plan was LaGuardia. I would start down 110 prior, because I want to have a little bit more time when I get down there to slow down, talk to ATC, because things start happening quick when you start going into more dense flight environments. So keep that in mind. And again, we'll check on our descent path here as we get a little bit closer. 2075. So here we go. Let's go back to our radio. 2075. Salt Lake Center, good afternoon. Moxy 357, we're flight level 380. Oh, wrong frequency. 20.
Frenzy at and maintain 12,000. Profile altimeter 29907.
Frenzy at maintain 12,000, 2997.
Salt Lake, good afternoon. Moxy 357, level fly level 380.
Moxy 357, Salt Lake City Center, Roger. Squawk is 4121.
Squawking 4121, Moxy 357. He's probably going to give me 12,000 over Frenzy. Let's look at our math, because he just gave the airplane in front of us 12,000 over Frenzy. So let's take 38 minus 12 is 26 times 3 is 78. I don't like that number. We'll do 80 miles from Frenzy to cross at 12,000. 80 miles. We'll start down 3 degrees. We can even buff it up a little bit more. So approaching 80 miles. If he gives us Frenzy at 12, we got to start down. Maybe even start down a little bit earlier. We'll see. Consider terrain. Consider traffic. Consider if you have a speed restriction. If he says cross Frenzy at 12,200 knots, now you know you also have to slow down. Now, the good thing about flight path angle is it's actually going to be speed on, if flight path angle will be speed on throttle, so it will hold the 3-degree path even when you throw the speed brakes out.
GPS 2846 across Spain at maintain fly level 190 landing north.
Ryan says a good rule of thumb, 100 miles out, 3 degrees down. Depending on the altitude you have to lose, Ryan, but yes. Speed on thrust, thank you.
Cross Spain at 190 landing course.
Salt Lake City Center, Delta 793, resolve, fly ready for taxi. GPS 152, Salt Lake City Center, clear center cross standby.
Yeah, FPA speed on thrust. Yeah, thank you, A-Rob.
Delta 793, runway 34 left, taxi.
He hasn't given us that. He hasn't given us that restriction yet.
Runway 34 left, taxi. We have Bravo Alpha 1, Delta 793.
Too difficult, unflyable.
GPS 2846 a minute, so that descent cross.
Jaden, what's up? Would you recommend E-Jets or wait until you update a little bit more? Jaden, I personally am enjoying them and I'm liking them. If you are okay with what's not modeled, I don't think you'll be upset. But because it's an early access aircraft, know what you're getting into. Kind of like the Learjet, right? I love the Learjet. It's an early access aircraft. It's not completely done. If you look at the Learjet now compared to what it was when we first started flying it, it's actually been changed quite a bit. So just know what you're getting into. But I'm telling you right now, I mean, I'm visible proof that we're not really having any issues flying this aircraft on a network, and it's actually quite enjoyable. The modeling is good, the sounds are good, the textures are good. The flight model is great, honestly. I like the flight model. That's one of the biggest. That's the biggest part for me, honestly. If it flew like a chintzy little, Breedock 737, then it'd be like, okay, this is way too early access. But it looks like they spent a significant amount of time getting the airplane to feel like it's flying like its real-world counterpart. So to me, that's huge.
Moxy 357 cross Frenzy at
there it is.
Maintain 12,000. The probe altimeter 29907.
Cross Frenzy 12,000 29907 Moxy 357. All right, 12,000 is set. So 80 miles, so let's add 10. Let's go 90 miles. And we'll go 3, and then we'll do it halfway. We'll do another calculation as we're on our descent.
Jet 2210, go ahead.
What do you mean flight model? What I mean by flight is like, how does the airplane feel when I'm hand flying it? Okay, and as we get ready to approach here, we'll keep an eye on this. When you rotate the aircraft, the videos that I've looked at, that I have of me flying this airplane, the videos of other people flying this airplane, you can kind of, it's very like,
Salt Lake Center, AirCal 113.
It's smooth but not floaty. You know, like some jets are just kind of inherently floaty. Even in real life, you bring them down, power out. Like Citations, a lot of straight wing jets. the 170 to me, it was a smooth jet, but just not very floaty. Now you can float it out, because I remember one time I had a captain yell at me. He's like, "What are you doing landing way down here?" I'm like, well,
Salt Lake Center, American
I actually think I podcasted
flight level
that.
360, about 50 miles north of the Grand Canyon.
But it's got a good fly model, and for the respective jets. So the 170, 175 flies like I would imagine the 170, 175 flew like, and now the 190 is definitely different, more of that lumbering big girl. So lumbering giant, I should say, in 2024. All right, I'm gonna set up. Can I? No, I thought there was. Okay, can I preview? I can't preview FPA, right? You just got to hit FPA and then dial her down. I'm going to slow down just a tad. We'll do 7.8 in the descent. So power's coming back. 104 miles from Frenzy. I'm based over the UK, looking to do some London city flights as well. You should fly over there if you're up to it. Hey, Jaden, yeah, I definitely think we should pay Europe another visit. Saturday after dark pod tonight? Ryan, maybe. Actually, maybe. I have to get up early tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going flying tomorrow, real world. But, yeah. I'll think about it. I got some stuff to do after this. I got to get my hair cut, and I got to get some mulch and stuff for the front yard. Got to do some errands. And then, once we get all that taken care of, maybe tonight we'll do something. All right, we're approaching our 90 miles. I'm going to start spinning this in early because I don't know how fast I will get through. So FPA selected. Now, if you keep an eye here, we're 0.0 FPA. So now I'm going to start rolling it in. Yes, we'll roll it in about 3 degrees. All right, 3 degrees. We're rolled in. We started down about 5 prior to our 90, but that's fine. Let's see how it works out for us. Now, does this have terrain modeled? I think it does. We might actually need terrain on for this approach. We'll put terrain on because we are in high altitude terrain. We'll be auto brakes low. And let's do our landing and knit real quick. So let's come over here. We'll go to the route. Nope. Perf. Landing. Landing and knit. Runway final approach course is going to be 134. Landing temp is probably going to be cold. Oh, you know what? I'm going to just pull the real world METAR right now. Let's see what the real world METAR is. Probably not.
3010 Romeo, Salt Lake City Center, Roger.
Remember, you can text flight service. I gave you guys the number of that, right? Let's see. MT, KPVU.
9295, Roger.
Right now it's, what? 2.5 miles rain missed? What the hell? Don't tell me it's going to be another Boston situation. 250 at 11. Gusting 19. Landing temperature is 1 degree. Oh, my word. 1 degree. We're going to do engine anti-ice on yes. Approach speed types. NPA, Cat 1, or... yeah, Cat 1, flap. We'll go full on this one. We're going to go landing flap full. Anti-ice on, yes. Landing. There's our speeds. Now it's gusting. So VAP is 132. So we're going to take 5 plus A. What do you call A? So we'll call it 140. But it's got to be less than VAC, right? So let's make it 139 for the gust. Does it have to be less than VAC? I don't remember. All right, anyway, we set up VAP 139. Normally it's like half the steady state, all of the gust. All right, let's see where we are, chat. So let's do another calculation while we're sitting here. We're gonna, by the time I get done with my math, we'll be at 30,000 feet. So let's take 30 minus our intended 12 is 18 times 3, 54 miles. So we should be about 54 miles when we cross 30,000 feet. Now we started, 10 early plus 5, so we're really going to be closer to that 70-mile mark as we go through 30,000 feet. And look where we're going to be at. Whoa, we got an overspeed. Nice wind load in there. That's all right. But we were literally going to be right on it. So at 30 miles, with our buffers that we added, we didn't even need to add them because we were at 70 miles with our buffer.
793, flighting 340-1934.
No, why we need an FPA or back down. I think that freaked it out. Let's get back on it here. That wind, that nice Microsoft weather load right there. Well, we can see we do have some
25 air moderate
weather there.
precipitation, or moderate to heavy precipitation after 12 o'clock, and 49 miles, extending for about 50.
You learn how to fly without VNAV, you will love it.
Just
Yes,
a small
indeed.
pocket of heavy precipitation. If you need to deviate, let me know.
Michael Acevado calculated our ground speed times 5. So the approximate feet per minute is 2,500 feet per minute. Plane is doing 2,600 feet per minute, so it's quite close. So there you go. See? Ballpark numbers. We're getting close, and we double checked it there at our halfway point, and I didn't need to add because it was like 87. I said 90, and then we started down at like 100. So we added way too much. We were too conservative, but you're cleared down to 12. It's not going to hurt anything. You're just going to burn a little bit more gas if you get down early. But if you're talking to ATC, you're getting your weather data, you have to slow down for the fix that you're approaching. Being early is going to be okay. Now, you don't want to be super early. You don't want to be like 50 miles early and flying around at 10,000 feet when you don't have to be. Just ballpark. Just ballpark. That is the difference between TCS and what is the difference? Oh, touch control steering. That's because my force feedback yoke is on. So the way that I understand that this airplane, they have it coded, is if you maneuver the yoke with the autopilot on, it puts it in TCS mode, which in my opinion I wish they didn't do, because TCS mode is a button you have to actually physically press to enable the mode to where you can fly around with the autopilot in standby mode essentially. Then when you release the push button, it then recaptures the lateral and vertical mode that you were in previously. Now, the amount of times you use TCS is pretty minimal. You use it for little things like going around little buildups or doing a temporary turn or maybe doing an S turn on a localizer just to get down.
793, radar contact altitude.
But I guess the way that they have it modeled is TCS is on when there's any input to the yoke. And because I have a force feedback yoke, I think it's constantly sending a signal that it's making an input. So it's showing TCS here, although it's still following the autopilot. So in the real airplane right now, or if I didn't have the Bruner on, this would say APAT. So autopilot, auto thrust, we're speed on thrust, LNAV, and we're in FPA mode as our vertical mode, and we're just sending down. So that's really the only major difference there.
Air France 8000, you wanted to climb. You said what altitude would you like? Air France 8000, I can give you 39 or 41.
When I jump seated, the crew used TCS, do some S turns for metering, then didn't touch it at all.
Air France 8000, roger.
Yeah, you do some S turns, and then you can just let go and go right back to where you were. It's a useful tool, but it's not like... or you can use it like if you're, let's say you're in a flight level change mode or you're getting close to overspeeding and you don't want to disengage the autopilot. Like say you're climbing out and you just selected TO1, you really shouldn't have, and you're still trying to clean up. You can TCS on, increase that pitch, bleed off that speed until the autopilot or until the flaps are indicating 0. To then at that point you can then release the TCS button and now you're right back to your autopilot modes that you had engaged. So it is a useful tool. I'm not saying it's not useful, it's just the way they have it coded is if you put a movement on the yoke, it's going to trigger TCS. That's touch control steering is what it stands for. It's still showing 38,000 feet. I'll reset the overlay. Yeah, that is weird, huh? Shows the vertical speed, though, and the proper ground speed. I'll reset it here for landing. It should be reset. So you can see we definitely got some rain, showers, and some high winds. I'm more concerned with terra firma than the weather. So we're going to go ahead and put terrain mode up on the ND. We're getting ready to go through our transition altitude. We'll make sure we set that. Excuse me. Been a while since I popped in, chat. Been busy. Had a question for you. You ever make it to MHT? Yes, I have. Been to MHT a handful of times. One's coming from Microsoft ST. That's awesome, man. Man, we never did any exterior views this whole flight.
Center does 2878 with some missions there, standard.
Yeah, MHT. Is that Manchester? Did quite a few flights up to Manchester.
Do you have a preference on the runway?
It's your home airport? Nice, dude.
Right.
Thanks for 20 months of support, ST. Appreciate you.
Hotel 34 right, Delta 28.
That's Manchester, Boston, right? MHT?
1985, radar contact lost.
Look at that. So we said 12 down. We're still 30. We're 30 miles out with 6 times 8, 6, 12, 18. So we almost doubled it, but we're going to slow down to 250, so that might help us out too. All right, there's 18,000. Set our transition out to 2999. If you have a major change in barrel too, it might might mess up your profile a couple hundred feet, but 2999 and 2992, not all that much difference, 80 feet. JJ, this livery is from the FSTO, but yeah, I love it, man. I think Breeze had a good livery, man. You're making me want to hop back in your E190? Vega. Do it, man. Give it a shot. You can see our headwind. So you can see here, if you were doing vertical speed with ground speed calculations, our headwind is significantly decreased, or actually, technically probably increased, because we had a crosswind, almost no headwind. So now we got more of a headwind, so that's going to slow our ground speed down, so you'd have to run a new calculation on your ground speed over distance. So if you're using those methods, nothing wrong with them. It can be more accurate, but you just got to make sure you keep updating it. Do another mental math check here at 15. That's going to be a 3,000 foot difference. 3 times 5 is 15 miles. We're 21 miles.
12,000 or no?
So here it comes. Here's 15,000. We're 21 miles out. We started down 5 early. 2 miles off from that. That's close enough for government work, Chad.
Copy. Clear down to frenzy 12,000 and 299.
Cody, thanks for the membership gift. Appreciate you, man. Just paying it forward, it says. Cody, appreciate you.
Number 464, Mike Whiskey, Salt Lake City Center, roger. Salt Lake.
We got to do some, we got to go to Ponce in this thing.
1 Charlie, Salt Lake City Center, roger.
We got to stretch the legs on the 19 and go to Ponce. We got to do some
American 672.
Canadian flying. Doesn't Canada have a couple of these jets too? Like Air Canada? Jazz? No, they had the E190s, don't they? There used to be like that toothpaste colored E170, I thought. I like that. I miss that toothpaste colored
I'm sorry, can you repeat that for American 672? Sorry.
American 672, no worries. Cross Frenzy.
We got 175, so sorry, Canadian. Forgive me.
Mr. Cross Frenzy at 15,000 for American 672.
UPS 2846 at Plage, cleared ILS runway 34, right approach.
At Plage, cleared for runway 34, right approach.
All right, let's go ahead and start slowing down. We'll slow down to 250. A-cell. We're going to spin it back 20 knots.
Information Delta's current. Descend and maintain 10,000, quick ILS runway 13 approach. The probe altimeter is 29908.
All right, we just got Delta, send maintain 10,000.
They've been replaced by the Superior 220. Oh, really? We had Air Canada toothpaste 190 or 195 though. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna see if they have that. Mr. Martini just finished a cafe con leche. Ooh, Mr. Martini, I'm gonna. Oh man, I don't know if I should get one because we gotta go to the feed store. Well, it's right over there next to my coffee shop, but I gotta get up at like 5 tomorrow. So if I have a cafe con
In Salt Lake
leche
Center,
at
it's
like 3
marked
o'clock in the
672.
afternoon,
We're on the Queen 5 arrival, so I'm not seeing the frenzy
I don't
on
know
my
if that's-
route here. For American
if I get a
672.
cafe con leche, we'll probably have to do a podcast or another E190 flight.
American 672, apologies, it should be Nebo. American 672, cross Nebo at and maintain 15,000.
Okay, there we go. That makes sense. Nebo at 15, American 672.
Love that wing flex. Wing flex in this airplane is better than the PMDG, like straight up. Like the wing flex is spot on. Cafe con polo. Cap, when I was testing the scenery yesterday, you will be happy to know that the taxi lights have been fixed. Abdilo, man, I cannot wait, man. Man, if I can get an early access copy of that, that'd be sweet. We can fly down there. Did you know the dev?
Yes, Alex, just 2878,
Do a little Ponce. Maybe we do like a little where could we leave from? Maybe we go to like Miami to
Roger. Runway 34 right.
Jamaica. We should go to Key West. I don't know. There's so many places we can go. There's so many. And we got little effects there, which are obviously work in progress, they said. All right, I do want to change something in the settings for aircraft.
Heading 340, for right, clear for takeoff, Delta 2878.
We're going to hide the cabin.
Moxy 621 cross, Fairfield at or above 9,000, cleared ILS runway 13 approach.
That's Fairfield at or above 9,000, cleared ILS 13 approach to Moxy 621.
Yeah, Michael, I agree. It's blocky. It's blocky wing flex. I don't know why. This is how, in my opinion, this is what a 7.3 wing flex looks like too. It's that like rubber bandy.
SF 6000, we're having an autopilot issue. We might have to...
All right, Abdilo. All right, well, when it's out, let me know.
Roger, just let me know.
How many chickens am I up to? Cody, we had to eliminate one.
GPS 2846, looks
we
like
have
you're lined
10.
up for the left runway now and maybe slightly
We got
high
10
attention.
chickens, we got 9 hens, 1 rooster. And they are producing a lot of eggs. 8 to 10 eggs a day, man.
Probably gonna have to go around and get stabilized here anyway.
GPS 2846, Roger. If you want to land on the left runway, that's no problem. Just let me know, and if you need to go around, just let me know.
Autopilot issues. Sounds like a skill issue. Yeah, Cockerel. Yeah, Cockerel
793, climb and maintain flight level 3.
no longer with us.
Climb 15 level 3.
He got a little aggressive.
Moxy
So
621, the wind's just updated with Delta. Looks like a 6-knot tailwind for runway 13. Can you accept that?
Yeah, we can accept that, Moxy 621.
10 knot tailwind limitation.
Moxy
So
357, descend and maintain 10,000. Expect the ILS runway 13 approach unless you'd like something different. Delta just came out with some new winds. Probe altimeter 2998.
yeah, we got information Delta. We're fine with the tailwind there. We'll descend and maintain 10,000 for the ILS 13 Moxy 357. All right, 10,000. We'll flight level change. Not picking up any ice. We don't have to turn anything on. It's all automatic, so we can enjoy the wing views.
GPS 2846, Roger. Runway 34 left, cleared to land.
Altimeter. I like it. I like your name, Altimeter. Welcome to Private Pot, man. Glad to have you on board.
2878, radar contact altitude.
Good day, Captain El Gringo. V2 plus 10. What's up, man?
2878, passing through 6.5 now for 20.
Oh, 2878, Roger. Proceed right Corver, climb and maintain flight level.
Yeah, I think it's trying to simulate a little bit of like that that effect. You know, like the cooling of the condensation effects. Condensation is what I'm looking for. They said it's still hardcore work in progress.
Moxy 357, cross Fairfield at or above 9,000, cleared ILS runway 13 approach.
Fairfield at or above 9,000, cleared ILS 13 approach, Moxy 357. All right, Fairfield, which is in 7.8 miles. We're going to set 9,000 at or above. So let's step down now. We're still in flight level change. Speed, flight level change, going down to 9. Let's get all our lights on. That's coming on. Ding them. Logos are coming on. We'll zoom this in. We're not going to arm the approach just yet, but we will go preview needle. It's 204. That doesn't seem right. 110.3 and 134 is what we need.
295, descend at possible discretion, maintain for level 180. GPS 152, runway 28 right, taxi by Alpha.
And course 134. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Don't mind me while I sit here and spin this course knob. 1, 3, 4. Alright, so we're locked in. I'm going to put him in VLO 2. So it's green needles for me. Alright, we're 9,000. We are Fairfield inbound. We need to slow down. 8,200 feet. As we make the turnover, Dipcot could be 8,200. Let's go ahead and slow it up first.
At 143, frequency change approved, good flight.
Man, we're really close to the terrain over here. Let's come back to 210. Let's do a magic barrel ref check real quick. 299 or 8. Coming back to 210 knots. You don't want to mess up this arc, that's for sure. Let me get flight recording ready because this is going to be a spicy approach. Alright, flight recorder is coming up in the red eye.
Moxy 621, runway 13, clear to land.
Clear to land 13, Moxy 621.
Alright, let's come all the way back to 180. Anti-ice is on, so now we have stall protection ice speeds, if that should come on. I think it might be bugged out there. Let's set 8,100. How do I guess we'll just go to 8,000. I don't know how to set single digits. That's... Alright, that's right. Flaps 1. Why do I have anxiety? Alright, we're sending down to 8,000. And we will arm the approach. Low-kin glide slope blue. We're arcing around at 180. In case I gotta do a heading to intercept, I'm pre-setting up my heading here.
7878 up to 340.
Let's extend flaps 2. Just a little wee bit of flap. Turn the right way, please. Turn this way, heading. I tripped into heading mode there to make sure, and now I'll rearm the approach. It almost looked like she wanted to stay left. Alright, so now we've got her gloke is captured. Glide slope is coming in. Or flaps 2. Let's go ahead and start the recording. Recording is on. Yoke cam is coming on. Engines are working. Back 10 more knots.
Moxy 357, you're number 2, following Embraer, short funnel, runway 13, clear to land.
13, clear to land, Moxy 357. Flaps 3. Alright, she's figuring it out. She's getting it. A little less turn, not a big deal. She got it.
What's that, 2210, roger.
139. Gear's coming down. Alright, flaps 4 is skipped for landing. It should be flaps 5 and then full. Flaps 4, so flaps 5.
121, you can roll it down all the way to the end and left at Alpha 5 and back to Park View Alpha.
Alright, right down to the end, Alpha 5.
Alright, let's go flaps full, landing checklist. flappage.
113, descend and maintain 10,000 information, Delta's current.
Juice.
Expect the ILS runway 13 approach.
Absolute juice. And ice is automatic, Andre Henry. Alright, let's see if we can hand fly it. This is where it gets tricky. Autopilot off. So I've turned the autopilot off, but now it's going to stay in TCS mode. So it's off, but it shows TCS. I can't like hard disable it.
American 672,
But that's a brewer.
stand via the Quadrant 5 arrival. Information Alpha's current. I expect the ILS running 34 right approach to Salt Lake City altimeter 29907.
Register, we'll descend via the Quinn. We'll expect a 34 right, and we have Alpha, American 672.
American 672, roger. At Plage cleared ILS runway 34 right approach.
At Plage cleared for the 34 right approach, American 672.
What's our minimums, Chad? 200?
Over 689, Charlie X-ray, Salt Lake City.
I'm going to turn the flight director Q off. I didn't like what it was doing. Man, that wind just swirled to like a 10-knot quartering tailwind. That's spicy. It's actually spicy. We're correcting. We're on full half dot. Oh my goodness.
SoCal 113, cross Fairfield at or above 9,000, cleared ILS runway 12 approach.
Fairfield at or above
9,000, cleared ILS
13, AirCal 113.
November 689, Charlie X-ray, cleared for the Kilo Papa Alpha.
A little bit high, correcting.
Maintain 8,000. Expect flight level 450 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 120.27, squawk 6071.
Starting to see the pappies just barely now.
November 689, Charlie X-ray, is that correct?
13-knot quartering tailwind now. Jeez. 'Cause a little squirrely there. I would not my best.
Charlie Golf off, Sierra Yankee, Salt Lake Center on our foot.
Definitely came in hot on that one. A little bit squirrely, but we may have saved the impact. I don't know. We hit that left main first. It's like,
Moxy 357, you can roll it down to the end, left side Alpha 5 and to the ramp by Alpha, okay?
All right, left turn all the way down at the end, Alpha 5 to the ramp. Good day, thanks for the Moxy 357. But we were cooking with that tailwind.
Charlie 50 distance, flight level 400 to gain some speed, I think, climb to 410 later.
What do we get a rate on it?
109?
Really? Oh, wow. So we saved the smasher. Definitely almost a smash. It was not, we should have been right main first, but we were a little wobbly all the way down. But hey, at this point, I'm just glad we're down. That got a little spicy there at the end, Chad. 140 right on the VAP. And I think that probably could tweak those speeds a little more. Actually, I don't even know. It seemed pretty dang right to me. It felt good. My E-Jet landings are improving, though. Thanks, A-Rod. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Now watch me go tomorrow and fly the Airbus and just absolutely stuff it. That's what's going to happen. Because I feel like I got to fly. The Airbus is like the earliest flaring bird out there, I feel like. You fly that, you start flaring that Airbus way before you start flaring any other airplane. And I feel like tomorrow I'm going to go to Houston and just not flare. Try to land it like an E-Jet. We'll leave our lights on. We'll just go straight into replay mode because yeah, this is perfect. 2 o'clock. We're not gonna do a full shutdown. I gotta get my hair cut. I look like a freaking mop head. I gotta They go get cleaned up. But depending on how everything works out
793, frequency change approved.
tonight,
Change
we
approved.
might
793, thanks.
we might podcast, or we might even just do a members only 190 jet stream again. We'll see. Look at that wing though. Damn, I love the 170 so much, but that 190 wing is just it's more juicy. The 190 wing is more juicy than the 170. That looks so dang good. Look at that retraction sequence is proper too. So all flaps first, right? And then the slats on retraction. Here come the slats. I guess I should have parked there. They were waiting for me.
Over 689 Charlie X-ray. You have a preference on the runway? Over 689 Charlie X-ray, runway 21 taxi by Alpha. Over 689 Charlie X-ray, roger, runway 21, clip takeoff. Affirmative.
My marshaller is in the terminal. Look at this. My marshaller is in, doesn't want to stand in the rain. Man, look at the weather. Like it was barely raining, and now it's really raining. This is what I love Microsoft for. All right, that marshaller's all messed up. We're going on the line. We're going right here. Well, now I'm curious to see if we get a dance. Will it tell me before I cut the engines? Or do I have to cut the engines?
Right. Cleared to the Portland Airport Alpine 4 departure, Idaho Falls transition, then a south. Climb by acidic set, maintain 15,000. Departure frequency 120.27, clock 7612.
I left into the skew. Dang it. Got a salute though.
Charlie Golf Alpha, Sierra Yankee, reback, correct.
I went straight to ground power.
And runway 19 for departure, call me ready.
Alright. Shutdown sounds are definitely juicy. Comes to Marsh. So we got all our lights on. I don't know how this is going to turn out here in replay mode after we shut down. Let's find out together. What I will do is I'll put both of these in the run position. And this is straight up testing. So who knows what's going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and turn the sound down. Replay full send.
80 knots.
Engines are back on. That's a good sign. I love it. I love it when they work with. Oh, are they spooling down? Don't spool down. Come back up. Give me juice. Oh, ignition, override.
2500.
Start, baby, start. Crossblades open. Catco, what's up, man? Just missed, yeah, we did a little E-jet flying. All right, we got one engine on replay. That's fine. All right, let's actually see how this landing goes. Let's zoom it forward. Taking a break from studying, loving the stream. Hey, gotta take a break, man. You probably recognize these views, right, Catco? You probably missed these views, man. Crossfeed's off. Crossfeed's off. Crossfeed's off. Cross bleed off. Oh, crossfeed. Do I need to turn that on? Load to.
300.
I just want to start number 2. It's windmilling. Oh, the crossbleed's off. Yeah, I shut it off, my bad. Look at that. Ooh, we barely, I should have got more right aileron in there. So yeah, this engine's windmilling. Dang, I wish we had a second engine on, because the engine sounds are more juice for sure.
80 knots. 400.
Last try.
300.
Oh, she's not spinning.
200.
That's alright. Oh, that's the point. I can try Control E. Look at that wing flex. Gotta love it. Let's see. Let's try Control E. Let's bring it back.
80 knots.
Control E. Control E2. Nope. Oh well. That's alright. We got one engine on the replay. There's worse things that we could do. Alright, y'all. I'm going to wind you back. I'm going to leave you with a nice long one here. I'll actually put the gear handle up because I think it was up. And we'll give you one long replay into Provo, Utah. Thank you for joining on this not planned little Embraer ERJ-190 stream on a Saturday afternoon. I mean, I love it. I love it. I'm having a ton of fun with this jet. We'll probably get back in the Airbus. We'll do some Airbus stuff next week. But this just opens up a whole new section of routes and airports we can fly to, which has got me excited. So I hope y'all are excited for the soon-to-come content on the E-Jet series. Calco says, I also miss paper charts and flight bags, dirty couches in the Republic crew room, and old LaGuardia AA terminal. Cacao, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Dude, we probably were there at the same time, man. That's crazy. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Keep an eye on the V1 After Dark Discord. I'll be flying tomorrow, going to Houston. I'll probably catch back with y'all on, actually, probably won't be till Tuesday, because I fly all day Monday. On Tuesday, I don't fly till the nighttime, so we'll do a PM stream. But until then, y'all stay safe, stay healthy, have a wonderful weekend. I'm V1. See you in chat. See you.